Alright, wanted to make a quick video as just an introduction to all the parts and pieces of this modular system. Apologize for the noise, I've got printers going behind me. Basically, this is just a quick introduction to kind of go over the 16 current parts that are available and what will make up the different options that will be available for purchase. So to start with, there are 3 required items that you need to when you place an order. You'll have to choose one of the 5 sizes of trays, and those will come with the rail mount, which is the mount that goes onto the chair rail of the Old Town PDLs. It'll come with a spacer, and I'll kind of go over what the spacer is for, but what it essentially does is it allows a space for the other tool spool and accessories, and it keeps the screws from poking all the way through and into the chair rail. Now there is an advantage to that. It'll allow you to lock this down if you want to do that, but that'll be a future video. And here's an example just to kind of show where the screws would stick through. Notice there's no spacer in here. So each order, when you order a tray, will come with one chair rail mount as well as the spacer, and then obviously the necessary hardware to attach it. You only truly need one of these, unless maybe you're doing a really long one, and then you might pick up an extra one. They're pretty robust. They're, you're not going to have a lot of weight in this stuff, but if you are going to be putting maybe some heavier things in this, larger lures, cannonball weights, things like that, a second one of these would be helpful. And then the other, as far as the mounts goes, this is what I'm just calling a blank mount. Where this comes in handy is, say you only want one chair rail mount, like this for example, where I've got, a tool holder, say a tray here, and then I wanted to add on something else. Well, as you can see underneath, I only have one chair mount, but I did need to have an ability to add some more screws to hold this on. So that's where this would come in handy, depending on how you wanted to set things up. So moving from there, we'll go to the different trays, and you'll hear me call each thing by units. And what these are designed as is, they're all based on units. So we've got a single unit, double, 3 units, 4 units, and that way they're all proportionally sized. So when you put these together, you'll notice that, a 2 and a single are the exact same size as a triple, and that allows us to really maximize the modularity of this and not have a lot of different measurements, things like that. So as far as the trays go, we've got a single unit that also is divided, so this can actually hold 4 small things. This would be great, say you're using little plastics, things like this that you want to have access to, but you don't want them all around. Whatever you want. You can also remove the divider, and now you've got 2 compartments to put things in. And then obviously we've got just a single unit that has a divider, so you get 2, you can make it 1. We have a double unit, obviously the 3 and the 4. So again, it's a lot of modularity. You find what works for you. Some people may want to put longer lures and things and lay them flat, so you can pull out the dividers and put them in there. Or maybe you've got a bunch of jigs and weights and things that you want to use. The options are endless. So once you have your basics, which would be a tray, the spacer, and the chair rail mount, then you can have options as far as tool holders, spool holders, and even a cup pocket. So we've got a single tool holder here, a double, so this just holds and this 2 tools, and this will also come with a split ring like here, and all of these will have little notches here, which are great. You want to hang small jig, lures, whatever you can fit. And I'll have some future videos on kind of keeping in mind where that might go, because once it's on the kayak, there are some areas where things fit well and some things don't. We've got a large tool holder here. This one's great for for holding fish grippers, things like that. From there, we've got 2 sizes of spool holders. One is for larger spools. I believe it's about 4.5-inch spool. it'll have an elastic band that holds the spool in. So you just put the spool in, pop the band on, and now that's nice and secure. We also have a smaller spool for these 3.5-inch type spools, leader line, things like that. It'll also have a little tool holder on the side here, and then I also have a just kind of a cup, a pocket, where you can put maybe some bigger things. Let's say maybe a spray bottle of bug spray, or chapstick, something like that. Nice little place for you to be able to put something, but still close and handy. And then, as you can see, when these are all set up, if you can kind of see here, you've got your rail mount, and then this now replaces that spacer in between, and then you've got your tray. So this is one of the setups that I've been using. I have this usually on my left side. It's got some split shot, some leader material, and I can retie pretty quick. I also have one of these on my left side that's kind of sits behind the where the chair mounts, and it's full of jigs and hooks and things like that, so I can retie very quickly. And then on my right side, I've been running a combination of these two, and you can see each one just has one chair rail mount. And I was using this especially during early season crappie. I've got some line cutters, a pair of forceps there to be able to have access to that. And then I also run a second one here because I've got enough room where I can have two of these right on that rail. And what's nice about this is just adds some modularity to where, on my kayak currently, I've got this setup sitting there, and it works great. It gives me plenty of space, as opposed to just doing a 4-bay like this, which is doable too. Again, there's so many options. Open to suggestions as well, things that you might find more useful. Moving into the future, what we do have is potential. I'm working on a way to mount this to crossbars, seat bars, vertical bars. You'll notice we've already got compatibility built into this. We've got a universal bracket that will be coming out that will allow this to mount to a bar, and then you can have stuff on top and below. So a lot of options coming out. To begin with, hopefully that's a quick introduction to kind of how the system works. I'll be putting out some more videos to better explain how to size what will fit on your rail, and the different combinations. And the sky's the limit. There's so many different things you can do with this, and I'm sure we'll be coming up with a lot of other great ideas in the future.